rears its ugly head, and Arjun Erigaisi, talk about a comeback. He was up 3 points. He loses 4 games in a row, and now he has regained the lead. So great showing here. Great rebound by Arjun.
Honestly, just taking a moment to appreciate this match has been amazing. This is our first SCC match, and it bodes really well for this season. It's a 1-point match. We've got 6 minutes to play in the 3-minute portion. There's 30 minutes of bullet coming up, and Fabi has to improve his performance in these time scrambles.
He really does. I mean, when the seconds are dwindling, that's when he struggles the most. And look at this. Once again, Arjun playing H4, H5, throwing up the pawns. Yeah. It's been working out for him, so why not?
And he's doing it across several different openings.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that it's not just Jabala London or things like that. It's every single time he's at white in the last bunch of games, that pawn's going forward.
And notice that the last time they had this position, Fabi managed to squeeze his knight into B4. This might not seem significant. This time he goes back the other way through B8. Always have to be very careful about knight C7. But the point is that after knight takes D7, the rook would have an avenue of escape reopened.
He plays A6. He wants that knight to go back to A3. That's not a very good square for it. So now for Fabi, does he take on D4? These little decisions are very difficult. Like when to release the tension, when to keep it there. He just plays knight C6 instead, and the eval bar doesn't seem to like it.
And a similarly difficult decision from White's perspective, bishop takes E4 is tempting in such positions, especially because it carves out the C4 square for that A3 knight. You could take C4, take E4, take D7, and then plant the knight on C4. You're threatening a fork on B6. That might be a sort of easily prepackaged small advantage for Arjun. I think he's probably seriously contemplating it at this very moment.
He plays bishop takes E4. And look at Fabi. He pre-moved D takes E4. He wasn't calculating knight takes E5, intermezzo, things like that. He is trusting himself. Will that be good enough? Unclear, because the endgame is clearly better. That is clear. The endgame is definitely better for White with a pawn majority on the queen side, whereas Black has these double pawns in the center.
And what's interesting is that pawn on H5 has sort of been repurposed from a tactical pawn to a positional pawn. In the context of an endgame, it's still a pretty good pawn, but now its job is to clamp down on Black's potential pawn majority on the king side. And it's a crippled pawn majority because Black now has these doubled e-pawns. Fabi not rushing to recapture the C5 pawn. What do you make of that?
B4 would be the potential drawback of playing a move like this, but I don't think that White can get away with it. I think you're asking for trouble by keeping your pawn. So I do not believe that Arjun's going to play the move B4, but if he does play B4, I think rook D3 comes to mind, bishop F6, and C3 is in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think White needs a couple more moves from B4 to become a serious possibility. Maybe just one more move, rook HD1. So this might be an opportune moment to snap that pawn off on C5. Fabi's also probably considering throwing in rook AD8, rook HD1. Hard to say who benefits in the event of a 4-rook trade. Maybe neither side. I mean, maybe it just, I don't know, E5. Okay, that's what he was thinking about.
But I think the closer we get to a king and pawn endgame, the better White's winning chances are. So I think trading all the rooks should be good for White because you essentially have an extra pawn.
Ooh.
What's up?
I just don't like the look of knight C4, B4, and B5.
Okay, so he goes knight C4, step 1 in your... how do you stop this, actually?
Yeah, no, let me just show why this is so dangerous. After B4, you have to stay on this diagonal, which means your only move is bishop A7. But now B5 comes with great effect. Mm-hmm. And if you take, goodbye. I mean, it's curtains after B6. That's how fast this happens. Sorry to cut you off there. I just didn't realize how dangerous this was.
So Fabi went rook E8, and after B4, he'll have to move his bishop back on to F8. So now knight B6 doesn't come with a fork. That's the big thing here. That's why the rook left A8, but still B5 looks good. If you can open up the A file, your rook on A1 develops where it sits. And Arjun does not need to be asked twice. He is taking command of this match.
Yeah, I mean, he's just ripping Fabi apart in this endgame. Rook H to D1 could come at a very inopportune moment for Black as well. Wresting control of the D file. The E5 pawn is hanging. He grabs it. And this is just going down the toilet for Fabi in this game.
Okay, so rook D5, isn't rook takes E5 and A takes B5 dual threats?
They are indeed.
So why is the eval bar so happy with White's position?
There must be a move here of some sort. Maybe B6? No, then knight C8.
I feel like
is there a case to be made for giving up the knight?
Probably, and that's what Arjun might need to do. But this is one of those cases where having the eval bar is like, okay, a move like c4 and giving up the knight and just using the extra pawn on the queen side. But when we learn about chess, 2 minor pieces are better than a rook. So it's very difficult to give up rook takes e5.
And he does. But he does it in a very interesting way. He gives Fabian out. Apparently the move was c4. That would have forced the kind of an endgame Arjun wanted. I think he might have missed rook takes d1.
He did. He forgot that the rook did not have to take the knight, and now it's even material. And that means that, not that it's a draw, not definitively, but some of the worst is behind Fabi, and he's ahead on the clock.
He is, but he's taking his time there, dropping his bishop out to d6, forcing the trade of bishops, ruining White's kingside pawn structure. Black is making major improvements to his position here.
b4?
Knight e4, f5?
Yes.
Ooh. Hello.
This could be a double-edged ending now.
He plays f5 immediately.
And what's he doing? Because FG, knight e4.
Arjun definitely playing for a win. Look at what he's doing. He's trying to force Fabi into calculating, and he's doing a good job of it. Fabi down to 30 seconds again. This is where he has struggled immensely in this match. Can he pull himself together in the time scramble phase?
Rook c4, though. BA and rook c4. This was a great decision by Fabiano. Now knight b5 is a big threat. Pawn to b5 looks good as well. And now it's Arjun who's down the clock.
And the point of rook b1 was to prevent the knight from jumping to b5. What a
wait a second.
Committal
Wait
decision.
a second.
Knight d5.
Great move. Knight e7 is the last game of the 3-minute time control. Knight d5 check, and you win b4.
You win b4, but White might be able to win b5 if the king sidesteps the checks adroitly. No, he takes f5. Okay. I don't know about that.
The knight c3 is won by knight d6, and black has this outside pass pawn.
Knight D6 careful now.
King f6 and king
g5? Or do you go knight d5? So many decisions to make, so little time to make them.
He makes knight d5. He wants the b4 pawn. He's worried about
he made the right decision.
Losing the game. Knight takes b4.
Now it's largely a 2-result game. Black should not be risking here at all.
So where's... He goes knight c6 and knight takes a4, knight e5 check. You get the g4 pawn or king g5.
And if you can also win h5, then you have winning chances.
Don't play knight e5 because knight e4 check. That would be
so easy to blunder. He goes back to e7.
King g5. Now I think black's winning.
Got to try it.
King g4. This is...
It's a 2-on-1, and White's king is really far away.
King takes h5. No, there's a problem for Arjun.
But it's a problem for Fabi. The king gets into d6.
h5, h4.
Oh, he's going to give his knight up for the e-pawn at the right moment.
Right. You have to wait until it gets towards e7. Play h4.
Exactly what he's doing. Knight d3, now, still not over.
Don't play king f3, I don't think. Play h2 first.
I think knight e5. We're going to have simultaneous promotion, but black's going to be up a knight.
Right. h1. And queen c6 check wins on the spot.
Oh, great cash by you. It's a winning pawn endgame.
Oh my goodness. Are we about to head to the bullet with a tied match?
Amazing. It's 9-9. What a win by Fabi.
These two, when it looks...